Yes, hello and welcome to All In. We are back in a big way. It is the Championships Day 1. TJ Smith, Doncaster, Derby, and Dino's arrived. G'day, Dino.
Afternoon, boys. Yes, I've arrived this week. The rain arrived last week. It was a good week to miss, boys. They knew it was coming. They knew they weren't going to race Saturday, so I missed last week's episode. But it's good to be back. Smorgasbord of racing this week. We will not confuse the listener or the watcher this week. I know we have structured it that way, but it's good to be back on Monday, boys.
It is good to have you as well. And did you dream of this weather sort of coming across?
Oh, you
Is that
stole my line. You stole my line. I was just waiting for you to say hey to me so I could say that. It's funny.
Sorry, Lou. Great minds think alike. It was one of your little great lines coming up there. But yeah, no, Dino, you didn't dream that up, mate. It was just something that you just
No,
feel in your loins.
I actually did have a dream. I missed the show last week because I was asleep, boys. But I have an excuse for that. But I did have a dream while I was asleep that I missed an important meeting, and then I've woken up and I did miss the show last week. So dreams are still alive, boys. No stress. No dreams this week, though.
Lewis Willoughby dominating not just on the morning line, STC on the
Mm,
Channel 5. What is it, 528,
Mm,
529 these days? Too many
yeah,
channels.
528.
Not too much.
don't know.
Come on,
Got
boys.
me
You got to
there.
know
But
that.
yeah,
528.
I watch it on my
I'm
phone,
back,
mate.
mate.
I watch it on my phone. I've got no idea. I don't get.
That's sick,
I've got,
isn't
I've got three kids, mate. Like I get it anywhere near a TV.
Uh,
Fair income. Anyway,
yeah,
Louis, you're dominating proceedings. Good to see.
back. Great to be back. Was going to be an hour today if not for the wet weather, but we push on, and yeah, it was a disappointing, result there on Saturday, but we get to see it anyway, and then we push forward to day one of the championships, which in my mind, so there's bigger days in terms of five Group Ones on Slipper Day, etc. In terms of going, I don't know why. I think it's because of the country championships race, but in terms of
Mm.
actually being at the track in a day during any carnival, for me, it's this day one of the champs at Randwick. It is the
it?
pinnacle of being there because the atmosphere is so good. People travel from very far and very wide to be there for that country champs race. Huge stepping stones towards things like a Derby and a Queen Elizabeth, etc. There's a Doncaster, which is what Randwick's most famous race probably. So yeah, massive day.
I was going to say, can you believe it, Dino, that Louis is pushing the country championships on Doncaster TJ
Mm.
Smith Day as one of his
Well,
favourite races?
Oh, I
he
forgot the
cops
TJ
one
Smith
meeting.
too. Fair dinkum.
He copped one meeting at Nowra, and he thinks it's
Mm.
just part of the country circuit now. So it's
Surprised you
good
didn't
to
turn up with
see.
the Cobra, mate.
Nah, that was the provincial championships on day two. I'm covering, man.
Oh, too good,
Interesting
mate.
stuff. Doesn't like 2-year-olds, but loves the country racing.
Yeah,
Good to have you
got a
here,
tip for it
lads.
too. Pretty spoiled.
Let's go to Randwick. The Rail will be in the true position. Currently a heavy 9. It's going to be a really nice day on Saturday. The weather probably does start improving. Maybe even this afternoon onwards. I doubt you get much improvement. Let's just say we're probably on a soft 6. How's that sound? Come Saturday.
I reckon we will. The wind today
Mhm.
is fierce as fierce, so strong, and it's going to be this not the same, a little less, but pretty strong tomorrow. And then remainder of the week is sunny, albeit not boiling hot. If this wind really continues, we haven't had any rain today. It's been overcast, but really windy. Then sun comes out. I think for sure, soft 6, maybe even a little better, 100%.
Okay.
No rain on race day is a big thing, and I
Mm,
like rain at the start of the week means that no one can water a track because you're trying to
mm,
get it
mhm.
as dry as possible, boys. So
Did
I
like
do like that setup.
Louis, you can't answer this. You're not allowed to. But Dino, did you notice they chucked 2 mils of irrigation on early the week last week when there was 50 mils forecast?
Yeah, I do feel
Come
sorry for them because the
on.
bomb, the bomb's as about
Come
as
on.
reliable as 2-year-olds. The Mooney Valley was worse the week before. We won't
Mm.
touch on that, but yeah, it's a rain start of the week's a good thing, I think, boys. You
It
really
is,
narrow it
Dino.
down.
Well done.
It's
Nice straight back. Good
mm,
stuff. Louis, let's
thanks,
go
boys.
to Randwick. We'll kick off with the Doncaster because it's going to be a cracking race. Linebackers, dollars odds courtesy of Tab, of course. Remember what you are gambling with. Another wheel, $7. Gringotts, $8. Tom Kitten, 8s. Lady of Camel at 11. Moira, 11. Sounds like your auntie. Royal Patronage, 11. Fangirl, 15. We'll just leave it at that. Long list of potential runners. Maybe find a few other notable ones. Swift Falcon, 18. I think currently 29th on the list there from Trav Noonan on the racing.com. Likely Fields. Probably another notable runner there. Louis, will give us your thoughts on Doncaster.
Yeah, great race. And again, we all, I guess, try and attack this from a betting standpoint, right? It's an all-in show, so we've got to try and find something that, likely could start shorter on the day. I want to back Firestorm, and Gano, I didn't hear you read it, so I don't know what price, but I think it's around that
18.
$18 mark. Yeah. Again, it's another one similar to Swift Falcon, who's not in the field, but it's close. I think in Trav's article, it's maybe 22 or really not far off, and there's a couple of unlikely ones above it. So I'm hoping it sneaks in. This horse is flying and
Oh
just
yeah.
looks like a good Doncaster horse down in the weight. So a few more strides, it knocks off Lady Shenandoah in that Coolmore, and it flashes past Lady of Camelot, who is $11 here, albeit already in the field. I get that. But I think if Firestorm makes the field, it has to start barrier dependent, or even maybe not, I don't know, inside of Lady of Camelot, because I think their last start runs, Firestorm was the pick of them for sure. No weight, as I mentioned, got out to 2000 and beyond last prep. Yes, in weaker grade, but I just think that means a strong Randwick mile on a little bit of a sting out track should be absolutely no issue. So at $18, and I'm just tipping it gets in and starts shorter than Lady of Camelot, who's $11. So I think that's the play at this stage, Dino.
Yeah, I like that push. Oh, the only query I had, Lou, was the jockey. And there's a fair few lightweight
Mm,
chances this year. And I saw Trav's article, there's no jockey. So I agree with you, though. All points you've raised. I think this horse has just purely come back better. This prep
mm,
sneaks in under everyone's guards. I like these horses that go to these big races when they haven't won. I think if she would have won a couple of those races, like you mentioned, though, lead up, she'd be completely half a price. And
mm,
she probably hasn't got the tempo. She's getting everything that favours. Doncaster boys, don't be scared of wide gates here. History suggests gate 8+. It's a Randwick Mile setup, and it's going to be a little bit of sting out of the ground. So even more so, those first inside lanes are probably going to be cast. So don't worry about that. George Ryder's a key lead up to this. Um, but I'm in similar boat to you. I like Firestorm, and the other one I like is Swift Falcon, 29th in the order. Needs somewhat of a miracle to get in this race. But talk about horses flying. This horse is dead set flying. I'm not convinced it's a 2,000 metre horse. I think the way they sort of crawled in the Rosehill Guinea somewhat maybe suggested again, but 600-metre form, this horse is elite. We forget the bias last start, come from a long way back, treacherous run behind, broadsiding. I just think this is a perfectly placed Hawks galloper in a grand final back to 1,600 metres, just hopefully draws out. And the big tick v your horse, Lou, is that Tyler Schiller gets in 49 kilos, just needs to make the race. So I thought in a cracking Doncaster, Swift Falcon and Firestorm were the two for me, Gunnar.
I
Yeah, I love.
can't wait for it not to make the race and Tyler Schiller hops
Mm.
aboard Firestorm, mate.
Interesting with you're referencing
That will happen.
Chris Waller's horses. If there's only I think Kovalika, they've got Kieran on, Zach on Moira. There's a few here without them, but no lightweight. It's interesting, isn't it, Dino? So
Mm.
you'd be surprised if they don't go here, though. Why wouldn't they? They're probably just waiting for a jockey, surely. Surely. I love your push, Firestorm. I'm going to go a bit left field, though. Rise at Dawn. This horse
Yeah.
has is shaping to be their next Mr. Brightside. And comes 6 of 7 in the All Star Mile. The All Star Mile stood up as a pretty strong form race year on year. I just think the horse has a fair bit of ability, and we're talking 51 kilos. Karis Teaton is a question mark, but we're getting $34. And not a question mark, he'll be riding. He's a question mark as to how he'll execute
His
his ride.
ability.
No, it's interesting, right? Like, you take a European golfer that plays in a strong wind on a hard golf course and chuck him in the US on soft greens and soft fairways, and it's a different beast. So I'm sure Karras
So
is good.
different.
I'm sure Karras is good where he's good, but yeah, maybe the Australian racing you haven't seen the best of him yet. So just going to throw Rise of Dawn in the mix. Just think he's a good chance, and I think he's got a fair bit of ability. 51 kilos. He'll be giving a huge shot. Louis, to answer or to sort of give a bit more depth into your point, and that is that Just Folk and Amenable are both going around tomorrow and won't be lining up in the Doncaster win, lose, or draw, and that will
Mm.
have Firestorm 20th.
New Endeavour as well. Do we know that horse, boys?
No
Or...
idea. No idea. But I can confirm that I've heard from both of those connections. So Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I am with Rise of Dawn. You boys have got what have you got, Louis? Amenable and Firestorm, or was it just Firestorm? Sorry, was it?
No, just Firestorm. Just
Yeah, and
Firestorm.
Dino.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
Firestorm and Swift Falcon.
course, it's not
How they
Amenable. It's
make
not
the
going there. I've absolutely lost the plot.
mm.
TJ Smith. Well, Dino, Private Harry, your man, your horse. He's gone to the paddock. Talk to me. Yeah, a few opinions on that this morning.
Yep. Yeah, this is the bad side of racing that I don't like, boys. We need horses, and to be honest, has to be one of the these last probably 2 years. The depth of our sprinters and milers has been very lackluster, and this horse obviously bought by Yulong 50% for the week. What's the point of going to this race and being tarnishing your unbeaten record? There's none if you're a stud horse. If it's a gelding or a filly, I highly doubt they go to the paddock and they race on for prize money for this race. So this is the downside, and I hate it because there'll be more horses at stud than there will be racing, and then what's the point of racing? So I can understand the decision, but at the same time, as a racing fan, it shaped to be an absolute cracker of a TJ and somewhat lost speed in the race, somewhat lost a little bit of that X factor of Private Harry. So that was my opinion on it, Gano. But obviously, you can understand the flip side. But as a racing fan, it's plain for me
Yeah, disappointing.
for
I think
us.
that's probably the key there, isn't it, Dana?
Mm.
You want to see these best
Yep.
horses clash, and look, maybe some concession. The horse didn't come through the run as well as they would have liked. We'll probably never find out, what that looks like. But
Mm.
um, anyway, yeah, it is disappointing. Overpass. What other speed influences here? Overpass. Brias. Well, funnily enough, they copped a lot of slack, but this horse can land on speed, just not drawn barrier 13 at Rose Hill over 1100. So you'd imagine Overpass will be there. Brias won't be too far away. Magic Time,
Yep.
On speed, yeah.
on
Not
speed.
not
Yep.
leading though, you wouldn't think.
No, not leading. Overpass leads.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
eh, Geez, it's pretty thin, isn't it? Like you have a look.
Mm.
Komochi. Yeah,
Yeah,
thereabout.
she's got speed.
There's nothing really taking it to overpass, is there?
No. No,
No.
I don't
Um,
think so.
that's going to be interesting. Sunshine in Paris could be a little bit more forward, but not that much. Like it's really interesting, and I think Switzerland they'll try ride a touch quieter than what they did last time. So yeah, interesting stuff. And then you get to Randwick, 1200 meters rail true, and they don't want to be leading along the rail. So who knows? Who knows? Dino, talk to me about the TJ Smith and who you're with.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my first point. You've touched on it, the speed in the race, and that's probably back to the point as well, somewhat of obviously Private Harry coming out, Jolly Star terrific winning the new market. Briasa was absolutely exceptional a couple of weeks ago against the bias. That run, it's hard to understand how much we tack on. Is it two? Is it 3 lengths? Is it 5 lengths? Is it no lengths? So it's shaping to be good runs. Sunshine in Paris comes off a complete forgive. Magic Times in form. Overpass, you mentioned, Gano. No speed at all in the race, going to lead them up. I'm going to get it really soft. He has a good soft track record, probably up to a 6. I think anything past that, it's a little bit detrimental. And I think if we do see a heavy track on Saturday, I wouldn't be surprised if they scratch and just aim straight up for a quokka. So that is something to note as well. The difference this year with the quokka and the TJ, I think it's 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks. So they have the option this year to do that. Couple of things I want to touch on. 3-year-olds have a plain record on this race. You can see why. This is the first race that they aim up with the 56.5 on their back. They don't get any weight relief or they get sort of 2 kilos, but they're climbing up in the weights. I just thought Briasa, boys. I think this is a new kid on the block. I know it's hard to measure how much we have to tack on for that first up effort, but the other point I want to note is it only had one trial leading into that, and that's a massive disadvantage, I think, for the Hawks scalpers we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Horses blow up off one trial, so I'm expecting that horse to come on leaps and bounds. Now to Randwick, now to 1200 metres, get it in clear air. If it's sort of soft 6, soft 7, it's one on a heavy 9, I think, in its second start. So I just think it's chips in Brias this week. I can't wait to see him in second up, Gano.
Yeah, I love that. Jolly Star, of course. She's $3.50. Favorite Briasa, 450. Sunshine in Paris. Sunshine in Paris, 450. Jimmy Star, $8. Overpass, $8. Magic Time, $9. Switzerland, 11s, Lou.
This is the trickiest race of the day, bar none, easily. And I could have made a case as I was going through this market and Trav's article for every single horse. Maybe Dino, the Hawks dreamt that that first up run was going to be their second trial, and they were going to draw wide and just sit back and charge at the line, and that would lead it into this, first up to the TJ Smith over 1200. So I agree with that. I think Jolly Star at this stage at least is the clear class of the field. Of course, Sunshine in Paris was huge. I couldn't figure out what to do here. My play is nothing at this stage, just to wait for barriers and then do the form fully and try and figure it out later in the week. If I had to spec something at this stage, and the big acid test here is clearly that it has to go to weight for age, but Headwall is absolutely flying. Was so unlucky in an Oakley, massive in the Newmarket to run second. If he did one or either of those races, what price would you make it in this? I think a little shorter, and there's case to say that it maybe should have gone close to winning either of those races. Handle's all going, so heavy, soft, dry, it doesn't matter. I mean, this horse was running in a benchmark race back in November of last year during the Melbourne Cup Carnival here in Sydney, and now it's, I think, some kind of chance in a TJ Smith. It's an astronomic ride. It's a astronomic rise, from not that long ago. But I just think the horse is going too well to let it go around at that price. And does it start shorter? Look, maybe not. But I think it's just the one I wanted to mention that purely price based at this point is the one I could spec at. But wait till barriers come out, do your full form for this and figure out the winner. What a great race.
Yeah, I think if Briasa draws anything outside of 1 and 2, probably wins a race. So I'm comfortable. There was $5 around this morning. I had a little play when Private Harry came out. I think it probably starts closer to $3.50. I think he's the best sprinter in Australia. I think he'll prove it on Saturday. That's a TJ Smith. Anything else to add there, lads?
Gano, worth having spec Everest, Browser,
Yeah.
pre-Saturday?
Yep.
I was just thinking out loud. It's been pretty good race for it. I think if you win this race on Saturday, you will shorten and more likely pick up a slot. So
For sure.
$11.
Yeah.
How Private Harry's $6 and Briasa's $11 is mind.
I honestly think if that Galaxy was at Randwick, Briasa beats Private Harry that day.
100%. I actually don't like. There's just no doubt about whose run had more merit. Briasa. And Private Harry was exceptional. Briasa was out of his mind. We're not talking about like the 11th seed in the first seed. We're talking about with outside of Cardian Rising, the first and second seeds here for an Everest. So like the gap's not enormous, but that run, if you switch the runs, you switch the results, and I think the margin will be bigger. I think Briasa's a better horse at the moment. In 12 months' time, we might be saying Private Harry is a little bit younger as well. So, you're spot on, Dino. I think Briasa is still around $11 with tab for the Everest is a wise bet to have now. And of course, if it doesn't get a slot, you get your money back. So if you can wait all the way till October, if you can't wait till October, then you probably shouldn't be having the bet anyway. Righto, let's go to the size. Sorry, boys, just a bit of dad wisdom. Watton, $2.80, Rivellino $3.50, State Visit $5, Vinrock $8, Belazane $15, Buffalo $15, please. Nepotism $15. Be surprised if Nepotism turns up on 4-day back up. Tempted, probably going to Percy Sykes, West of Swindon $15. I think we've probably gone far enough there, Louis. Talks us through the size.
Yeah, so obviously the top two come through the slipper. Whose run was bigger? Maybe not even maybe Rivellino. I mean, for those who backed Rivellino on the day, when you were last, tear up your ticket. You can't win a slipper from last. You can't. Like it is physically impossible. Woden wasn't far off being last either, but Rivellino was dead set last. And they were kind of equal on the turn, and they chose different paths. And I think Woden just got that better run through than Rivellino did, hence maybe the margin between them in the end. In saying all that, I'm going to back Vinrock at the price coming through.
$1 pot lobs, Dino.
Why?
Just a little bit Victorian form, just to Sydney.
But it's price related, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Again, $8. I don't think this starts $8 on the day, whereas the prices for Woden and Rivellino I can see starting on the day. I think they are the better horses. Absolutely, the slipper is the better form, no doubt about it. I just think this price is too strong for a horse who is still open to so much improvement, whereas the others had that grand final the other day. That run in the VRC Styles, that was on its second start, and it just belted them. Like led, solid enough tempo, ran even time. It's trialled up in Sydney and looked to go really well on the Sydney leg. So yeah, call me a little biased, but I think the price is wrong, re Vinrock. But the other two could definitely be the better horses, Dino.
Yeah, it's fascinating size. I think the biggest thing for Woden, why he's probably so short, is he has ticked that wet track box before. Rivanello, yes, as good as him in a slipper. Question mark this far out is what track are we going to get, and does he handle it? He's had sort of the four starts all on good four decks. I think Woden was exceptional in the slipper. Yes, he got the dream run. I think he's a better horse with the give in the ground. I think he goes close to winning a slipper and probably goes close to winning regardless. But I think up to 14 now, and with the sting out of the track, I think it's advantage him. State Visit's a good horse. Vinrock to respect, but I think outside of that, it gets pretty thin here, Gunner. So I thought Woden was a nice bet. I think you can have it now because regardless of what the conditions are, I think he's suited on Saturday.
Yeah, Watson should win if it's a soft six or worse. I think that's the way I'll play it. Rivellino hard to beat, but barrier draws will play their part. Like if these horses draw 1 and 2, you know, gee, it's just could be sticky. I remember Watson could probably land a bit closer in the run. I think the thing that Rivellino has against him is really hasn't shown the ability to put himself in a race. And if you get to a slow enough run size, the field's not huge. There's no if Belazane all of a sudden doesn't turn up, let's just say, and they go slow. Like if Belazane gets here to be fast, but if they don't, Rivellino could find himself out near last in a slightly run race, and it made us be less than ideal. I'm just not a huge fan of that profile as a bet. State Visit will jump out of the ground and can win the race, but $5 is
ludicrous.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Vinrock can win for sure. I would have Vinrock $5 and State Visit $8.
Yeah,
100%.
I think off what we've seen to date, and like it's all good and well for like our job as punters is to factor in improvement, but the bookies have like factored in improvement and then double clicked it like on State Visit. Like, gee whiz. I'm not sure who would be chiming in. Like that's not enticing anyone to a bet. So anyway, is what it is. But we'll turn on top if we're a soft six, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're probably expecting, right? Did we land on a six? Is that what we're playing it on?
Yep.
I'd be surprised if it's worse. I'm telling you, it is dead set that windy here. Like insane.
But you also told me it hasn't rained. Pat's messaged me this morning said hadn't started raining until 9 o'clock. Have you been in bed all morning?
No, incorrect.
Maybe Paps has it.
Literally before this, I went for a run to Centennial Park, went out those gates to the Randwick entrance and ran back. The ground dry.
Luke, if we want to get the data on that run, Strava, is there an app there?
Strava. Second run back, 5 months, mate. A bit slow.
One trial, two trial.
This was second trial and went worse too. Prep looking bad.
Regression, second trial regression. It's all right. We see it a little bit. Again, Adrian, they look like they're under pressure on their second trial, but they come out first up and they go very, very well under race.
Weight bag on.
All right, Australian Derby. Aliana at 350, been well backed. Willie Do It 350 from New Zealand. Chanois up from Victoria. Don't tell me you're tipping that horse, Louis. $6. The Doctor of Love, $8. Gold Rush Guru, King of Thunder, both $11. Golden Century, restaurant, Plymouth, both $15. Louis, the Australian Derby.
Man, maybe it's my stomach talking when I saw Golden Century. How good the old days of Golden Century.
Yeah.
The question mark with Golden Century, and it is the one I want to be with, as well as the Doctor of Love. So Golden Century runs on Tuesday in the Tulloch. That's going to be a 4-day backup. Go back to 2022. Similar thing happened with last week's program. They ran it on the Monday, and Benno ran 4th in the Tulloch, had then a 5-day backup, so just that extra day, and then was narrowly edged out in the Derby. However, Character, who won the Tulloch, and a few others further down the board, got beaten 16 lengths plus. What does that mean? I don't know. Can you back up? I think you can. So if you look at the NZ Derby, they both come through. Golden Century and the Doctor of Love, both so unlucky, held up momentum checks, crucial stages behind Willie Do It, who just had the absolute grouse and won. I think with better runs, they go closer to turning the tables on Willie Do It. He's the equal favourite, and Golden Century's a $15 chance. I can't figure out how there is that much between them. He was super impressive to the eye, that Willie Do It, but Go back and watch the runs of these two. They were proper unlucky. And I think at the prices, they are better options. Aliana I love, but again, 350, I'm just not sure I can step into at this stage anyway with no barriers, etc. Dino?
Yep. Yeah. If you do have a chance, I agree with you, Lou. Go back and watch that NZ Derby. It's a cracker. I think the biggest thing that Willie Do It show there was tactical speed, where Golden Century probably hasn't shown any of that in the
Mm.
starts. I was against it on Saturday, which will get run on Tuesday, purely in the fact that he's going to get all the way back on a wet deck, which you don't want to be. I think that is grouse form. I'm happy to back Willie Do It and the Doctor of Love. I agree with you. Both checkered runs. Willie Do It had the tactical advantage and the better run, but I think it's going to get that again on Saturday from wherever it draws. So I think that's good form. We'll see the figures and how they line up later in the week, but I'm trusting the eye somewhat this early and going to back both those Gano out of the NZ Derby.
What's your opinion on Chanra, Lou? Like the horses just continue to improve and improve and improve. Haven't seen his ceiling yet. Do you think? Just don't think he's going to be competitive, or he just needs to go to a completely new level.
It's not that I don't think he's going to be competitive. I just thought again, I'm just trying to do everything price related, and I thought
Hmm.
these two were better prices. I don't. I'll be honest that I don't do a lot of review for this distant stuff. So I don't have the greatest handle on Chanois,
Yeah,
but I just couldn't really get interested at that price compared to New Zealand staying form, which has proven to be such a success in these kind of races.
yeah. I think just off ratings alone, you probably Shanwai needs to improve 3 or 4 to win this
Mm.
race, and can. But once again, another horse where the like improvements factored in, and then like they pressed it again. So
Mm.
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Yeah, if you're getting like $12 or something, you could be like, okay, I can happy to factor in some improvement and play with that. But I found the race
Mm.
really hard. I don't see any
Yeah.
edges at all. So leave me right out. Lads, it's a huge day racing. We're going to wrap up the show now with some all-in best bets for the weekend. And then we're going to have a little look at what is ahead tomorrow, being Tuesday, at Rosehill Gardens. But I'll give you my all-in play, and we're going to go to the Country Championships final. And hopefully Louis isn't going to be too upset because I know it's a race he might have been keen on. But Gallant Star, $3.50. That'd be like stealing wheat off blind chooks. Lou?
Mm. Yep, my best is in that same race. I think Gallant Star wins, but the one I want to back at the price is InterVarsity, who I can't figure out why it's that price. Was 3 wide, no cover on speed in the Hunter Northwest qualifier, bolted in, freshened into this, undefeated second up, and I just think it ran past Know Thyself like it was nailed to the fence. Know Thyself comes out to that on a heavy track and bolts in the wild card. The drier this track gets, the more price you should get for Know Thyself. It cannot win if the track is in a soft six. If it was heavy, it could. Can't win soft six. And yet it's second favourite, and InterVarsity is whatever price it is. Insane. I think outside of Gallant Star, it's the one I want to back each way, and it would be the exotics play, Gallant Star and InterVarsity.
Beautiful. Your best all-in play for the week, Luke, because
Is InterVarsity
you
each way.
can't
Oh, we
multi the
can't.
same
Okay,
race, can
okay.
we?
Yeah. All right. Stand by.
Unless
Well,
you
I'll
want to
go
do a
Want me to
bundle
Firestorm.
go?
bet,
Sorry, Dana. No, Firestorm. Firestorm. Yeah.
Firestorm.
Odds and evens.
Any odds and evens
Ooh.
for us, Dino? You just want to straight bat it with an all-in play?
Yeah, I'll odds and even. No, I will go Brias. Are you going to go to TJ Gano?
No, I've done Gallant Star in the country championships.
Oh,
Louis
sweet.
has done a Doncaster with Firestorm, and it's
I'll
over to
go
you.
Briasa and the TJ.
What?
That's a nice
Hey.
triple. If we can
I
nail those three
apologize in
races,
advance,
boys.
gents, because we're clearly going 2 from 3 here, and it's not me.
What are you? Oh, the confidence. Is this the worst all-in play or best all-in play?
Well, if it
Wow.
lobs, it's the best, but the most concerning leg is certainly mine, not yours. Your two are almost M's.
Well, why don't we just to be conservative and get one over the line? We'll just put you in for the place.
Yeah, I like
Done,
that.
done.
I like that.
Okay,
Firestorm, the
agreed.
place for Lewis,
Yep.
and Gallant Star for me. And Dino's got Briasa. And
Mm.
make sure you let us know who's going to win what race. The Doncaster. Let us know
Yeah,
who's going to win the
Doncaster.
Doncaster. Let us know why. Luke will get the duck race. Good to see the duck race back. He'll get that.
Yeah.
The better you comment, the more chance you are of winning. We'll give you less weight in the duck race. Very important to be a light-weighted duck to get across the water nice and
Mm.
quick. You don't see many fat ducks winning that race, do you, Lou?
No, not at all.
No, absolutely
We
not.
like all ducks, though. There's no 2025.
Dino likes to get on SEN and get to do a duck impersonation from time to time.
Oh yeah, I
The old
remember that.
list
That
comes
was
out,
good.
Donald.
That was so good.
It's
Some
happened
other good
again.
races,
It's
boys.
happened again. The two. It's just like
Yeah, and they make sure they don't tell me till it's heaps funny,
No,
and
of
then
course
it
not.
because
comes out.
it's very funny.
Ratings go through the roof when it happens, mate. That's why.
That's
Yeah, my
exactly
stocks
right.
plummet.
Dino,
Yeah.
Rose Hill tomorrow. There's 10 races. Find us a winner.
Yep. Bit different. I thought Marzu was an outstanding bet, boys. I know you can lean on he's a wet tracker too much, but you watch his last effort, over 1,000 meters, he was outstanding. So I think he's tip top ready to go tomorrow. We're still going to be wet. I think he's going to get back off the map, and I think he's a nice enough bet. And I thought Vauban as well, boys. I thought he could topple Dubai Honor, who's first up 2,400. Don't really like that. I think Vauban's second up 2,400, and he'll feel like he's in the UK tomorrow with these sort of cold, windish conditions, lads. So they're the two that I like there.
Go on, Luke.
I'm with Duke de Sessa in the Tancred. Best of the day tomorrow. It will be winning.
Outrageous when Dubai Order comes out and beats you all.
Probably wrap
None.
home.
And that's
Harvest
great.
win.
That's great for the viewers of this show if I throw Dubai Honor in there because I'll be really just scratching their head. But I won't. I won't. I think Amenable wins the Doncaster Prelude. Rain effective going. Horses going well. Be very, very hard to beat. Race 9, number 2. That's all in. We'll be back for day 2 of the championships. Make sure you subscribe to greattipoff.com. If you want Dean's work, deanwatling.com. .com? Just
Yep.
.com.
Yep. .com. Anyone out there Saturday, boys? I will be out there on course.
No.
Yep.
I'm at Wenny Park, mate. If you want to do the double, see you there.
I'm just going to watch from home, Dino. Easy to do. Easy to bet from home, and
Yeah, okay.
just chip
Makes
away.
sense. Well, I won't be drinking. I've got footy the next day, boys, so I'll be sober as anything, walking around the races.
That sounds horrible.
Terrible.
All right, you enjoy yourself. Have fun. Bye for now.